Hey everyone, Mark Buffa here from Spectre Pro Shop Software, and we're with the one and only Jacob from JR Pro Shop Vids. Make sure to check them out. Link in the description below. They help us, we help them, so all is good. So we get a lot of questions in the comments down below. You had helped us film a lot of the videos a couple of years ago, and we still get comments today, so thank you for all that. It's been great. But we get a lot of questions about Oval Calculator in Spectre Pro Shop Software, so we wanted to take a two-hander, fit him for his first thumb hole, and kind of walk you through the process. So we're going to be going through full measurement. We're going to be doing oval cuts, using also end mills just to show the difference between cutting with end mills versus cutting without end mills. And then lastly, maybe this will also be a separate video, but we'll see depending on how Jason sees this. We'll also touch on the tapering process. That's also a really big question that I get asked quite often, so that's going to be a nice one. So let's dive right in. Okay, so when measuring an oval, there's different schools of thought. Okay, so first off, make sure that whatever you were taught and however you learned how to do ovals, make sure to go in the settings and tailor Spectre to the way that you like to do it. Okay, so you're always going to need three things. You're going to be needing your starting bit, which is going to be the thinnest part of your thumb, so basically the side of where the nail is. Then the second part is going to be the width of the thumb. Okay, that can be either measured using a drill bit size. That's what I prefer using because I like measuring using a BT ball fitter. I find this to be very quick and easy. So this has all the drill bit sizes here. However, you could also use a caliper to take the width, or also what you could do is use the caliper to take the start, zero out the caliper, measure the width, and what does that give you? Gives you a difference. Okay, so if you're used to saying I am doing an oval at, let's say, 60 thousandths at 35 degrees, well, you're using a difference when doing that. Okay, so go into the settings, set it as difference. In the end, it comes out to the exact same geometry. Okay, all we're doing is measuring the hypotenuse of the triangle. Obviously. And there you go. Yeah. So again, need the starting bit, you need the oval width, and then you need the degree at which the hand sits in the thumb. So we're going to go through those three steps, and yeah, let's go right at it.
So excited.
Okay, so first up, we're going to check for the starting bit. So what I like doing here is putting my head right on top of the thumb, and what I'm looking for is I'm looking to see like a very minimal amount of light on the top and bottom of the hole. Okay, this is still a little bit too big, so let's go down to 25. See, this looks a little bit better. So I get a little bit of breathing room here, room for tape, obviously. This guy's a pretty high-level athlete, however, he's two-handed. So we're going to look at 25, 30 seconds, okay? So if you want to double-check your work when doing this, you could also use a caliper. So go get yourself a caliper. I prefer a plastic caliper because it runs better on the skin. And you could just go here onto your drill bit rack and look here for 25, 30 seconds, and here we see 781 thousandths. You can just use a calculator, so we can go here to 781. Okay, and check, and we see that it fits pretty good, right? Okay, you could also just take this, kind of squeeze the skin, okay, but now this is way tight. Right, so what I like doing is taking that measurement and adding about 2 to 3 drill bit sizes on top of that. Okay, so right now in Spectre, we'll see magically here, you're going to put it on the video, that we're going to put a starting bit of 25. All right, and then for oval width, using a BT ball fitter, this is pretty straightforward. Basically, we want the thumb to go in with minimal rubbing. Okay, so you see here 27, I got to kind of push a little bit. Okay, so 55 seems a little bit better, okay? You know what, we're gonna go 27 for the sake of this video because it makes a round number of cuts. Yeah, let's go with that. This is going pretty good. So if I go a little bit smaller, you see this is, you see I gotta push too much to do that. So here 27 looks like it's going pretty good. So we're gonna go 27 on the oval width. Next up, we got to take the oval degree. So there's several tools out there that make the job easier. First of all, you could use an existing bowling ball. So in this case, we don't. Okay, so we got to be creative or have the right tools. We can use the innovative fitting ball. This has a pivoting section here for the thumb where we can see what the degree is. Okay, this is a great tool. I like having this for more complicated hands. However, I do find that it is a little bit hard to get to dial that in properly. This is where I really like the bow tie Versa tool, where you can put the fingers in and pop the thumb here at the top, and you can kind of see by looking at the numbers here at the top that this is about a 40-degree oval. Okay, so you're looking at the center of the hole and you're looking to see where that kind of lines up with those numbers, and it's very close to 40 degrees. So we can also double check using this, but I'm used to using that, so let's go ahead and pop that in at 40 degrees. Theoretically, now that we have these three measurements, we could now easily just cut the oval. However, because everyone's got a thumb that's a little bit different, what we do see here is it's thinner here and fatter here at the base. Okay, so in this case here, that's what we would call a taper. So what we want to do now is, again, using my ball fitter, we took the measurement of 27 for the middle of the thumb, but if we notice here, if I keep this straight, open your hand a little bit, okay, you see that my ball fitter isn't getting to the base of the thumb, it's not getting to the crease. Okay, so I need to go up a couple drill bits, enable for the ball fitter to get to the bottom of the crease. Okay, so right there, that's about 3 drill bit sizes, and now I'm touching the bottom crease. Okay, so here we're going to go with a taper of 57. All right, so now that we've got everything populated, we see starting bit of 25-30 seconds, oval width of 27, oval degree of 40, and a taper of 57. We'll get to the taper. If it's not in this video, link in the description below for the next one. So now that we have all this information, we just have to hit calculate oval, and it will give us now our 3 cuts. Okay, so again, Spectre is a very smart tool, and it tailors things the way that you want to do it. In this case here, the way that we had it set up, if you look here, we've got a pitch of an 1/8 to the right and an 1/8 reverse. Okay, I just put this here for the sake of the video. It could be whatever. So if your client has a 1/4 forward and left pitch, it is what it is. Okay, in the settings of Spectre, we have set this, in this case, to use the oval width in a drill bit size, and here to add the thumb cut to the oval cuts. So that is why, if we go back to our drill sheet here, you will see that in a 3-cut oval, we also specified in the settings that we wanted the pitch to be in the center of the oval. So we see here in a 3-cut oval, what's the middle of these 3? It's the second one. What's the second one? We see it has -125 and +125, which is exactly our pitch, right? So you're gonna see in this video, I will knock in the slug at an 1/8 reverse and an 1/8 right. And then from there, I will move the table to the top left, do the first cut, second cut, third cut, and we're done. Okay? We'll put some infographics too to make things a little bit easier for you to understand at home. But in essence, that's it. Right, so given the size of Jacob's thumb, I decided to go with a trusty turbo 1¼ inch slug. He's got a little bit of a smaller thumb, so this will do the trick. Next thing, what you're gonna need is you're gonna need obviously your 1¼ drill bit. Okay, in this case here, we use the 1¼ oversized from Jayhawk. This is 5 thousandths larger, so when you're knocking in the slug, it's 1,000,000 times easier. If you don't have that luxury, another great tool from Innovative is called the sit tool. Okay, this is a great tool which will enable you, one, to sink in the slug easy, and also if you need to make the hole a bit bigger, you can attach a sanding disc to it. So we're going to show you that process as well. Don't need to use it in this case because we have the oversized bit, but this is still a really good tool for that. And lastly, in this case, we will also be using the Endmills. Now, I know that this is something that very few pro shops have. In this video, we're just going to demonstrate the advantage of having these, and also the reason why you want to keep your drill press in tip-top condition, and also your drill bits sharp on a regular basis. Okay, so first things first, you want to set your pitch. In the settings, you want to set this to, again, this is how I like to cut ovals. We are set to pitch in the center of the hole. We are set to add the pitch to the oval calculation, and we are also set to vertical on top of horizontal. I like seeing it that way in Spectre. You can always change that in your settings depending how you like to see it. Okay, so first things first, set your pitch. That's the pitch we want in the thumb. We set this up with our 25-30 seconds, which is our starting bit. You could theoretically start this and see if you hit your line, okay? where in this case we hit the line. Once this is good, we will be installing in this case a turbo 1 1/4 inch slug. So because I know I'm centered with my cut line that I want, I will now change my drill bit to a 1 1/4. Again, this is a 1 1/4 oversized bit. It is not necessarily needed, but it is a very nice to have. All right, what I like to do here as well is check the depth of the slug just to make sure it's standard. So here we've got 2 5/8, so I should be going, let's say 2.5 inches deep, okay? And I still got a little bit of room to go. So another thing you could do is take your drill bit, bring it down to like the edge of the cover stock like this, and then move your height gauge up to 2.5. And then once you're down, you could just go all the way down to 0. Okay, now we're good to go. Step 1, done. Next, grab yourself one of your sanding discs, just rough up the outside so it gives something nice for the glue to adhere to. Next up, I like using a slower set glue, in this case here, Turbo Slow Zip. You could use also Slow Zap from Zap-A-Gap. You could also use an epoxy. I haven't had any issues with Slow Zap in the past. So really great product. So you want to just put this on either side here and just smear it around the hole, giving good coverage all around. Okay. Next we'll take our inside sit tool, put this in here, put this right on top, and drop her in. Okay. As you see, we didn't really have to push too hard on that because of the advantage of the oversized drill bit. Okay, so got in real easy there. Now we have to follow our steps as we see here on Spectre. So 25-30 seconds. Where are we now? In the middle, right? So if I bring this down, it hits the crosshair right in the middle. So that is my middle of my oval. I want to go to my first cut. So it's telling me in Spectre, I want to go to -105 on the vertical. So I'm going to back up here, -105 and +101. Okay, and again, you can also set in Spectre to show the polarity. So if you go into your settings, you can say to show the plus minus on the tiles, and that makes, you know, the guesswork of going in the right or wrong direction out of play. So now we're doing our first oval cut, and this is going to be, as we see on the top left corner of the thumb. All right. Next up, we go to the second step, which is going to be -125, +125. So we bring our digital readout to those numbers. Now, this is a pretty good topic here. So we have a JVac milling machine here with some regular drill bits. So some regular typical carbide drill bits here. And if we make that move, if we go down and I push down on it, you see how the drill bit kind of slid to the left a little bit there? Okay? Now these drill bits are pretty sharp because we just finished sharpening them, but you will see that it does bend towards the hole. So if your drill bits are in bad shape, you will have a bit of a taper in doing ovals. Okay? So if you feel, one, that your machine shakes way too much while you do ovals, or if you feel like at the end of your oval process it doesn't give you the same end result, this is probably why. Okay, so check your drill bits. Next option is if this is not the case, okay, it could be that your keyless chuck is maybe too loose, okay, and you're getting too much walk from it. Also, a keyless chuck will walk a little bit more than you do if you don't have a keyless chuck. Again, most machines come with a keyless chuck. It's become something really nice to have. Check that out. So we're going to drill this hole with our regular drill bits. We're going to measure it with a caliper, and then we're going to show the difference with the end mills. Okay. So this is my second cut. Now we go to the third cut. And here we have it, perfectly centered oval using the Spectre Oval Calculator. You want to double check, so like I said, we're using a traditional drill bit here. It will walk a little bit. So we set our caliper to 843, which is 27-30 seconds. And as you see, it doesn't go in. So if I put this in, you see we're at 824. So it's about a 20,000th walk, okay? So we will now see the difference between this and just using an Endmill. So I picked a 25-30 second Endmill. That's my starting bit. I haven't moved the table, right? It's still at the same measurement I had before. And now I will just go down and make that last cut with my Endmill. And we'll see a huge difference. Okay, so take that, put it in. There you go. Okay. So if you want true to size ovals, Endmills are the way to go. Okay. Okay, so now we ask our client to come. If we took our measurement properly, this should go in very easily, and it does. Now obviously, I haven't touched this, I haven't tapered it, I haven't beveled it at all, but it's still going in nice and easy, okay? So now we're gonna make the final touches to it and also do the tapering process. Section 2 of the video, how to taper a thumb hole. Okay, so we haven't moved the ball from the drill press. We know where the middle is because we have the full movement of the oval cuts, okay? In Spectre, you're gonna see this taper button. So all we need to do here is hit the taper button and you will see that it adds a half cut. So what this means is it's the middle of the hole. In this case, it was pretty simple because it was a 3-cut oval, so it's basically mirroring the second cut. But when I see this on one of the drill sheets, I know I have to go back to the middle. So step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, back to the middle. Understood? Okay, so now it's telling me to go back to my middle. 125, 125. Okay, so now we're back in the middle of our hole. And now, remember we had measured 57/64 for our taper. So we're gonna take that taper bit and in this case, I know I have to go about a 1/4 of an inch because that's gonna be to the edge of the bowling ball. So I'm gonna go down an 1/8 of an inch, sorry. Okay, and then I'm gonna go down another 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so now that's gonna be the top portion of the hole. So I cleared until the edge of that. I could have even cut my slug first just to get a better bird's eye view of it. So I'm just going a little bit deeper than the first section. Again, it's just the top of the thumb hole and then we're gonna bevel it, okay? So now I'm gonna take my 57, I'm gonna skip a drill bit and go to my 55. And I'm gonna go down about the same distance. So all we're trying to do here is we're gonna make like a little bit of a staircase effect until we get to our starting bit of 25-30 seconds. So now we can see those lines, that's the staircase effect. And this is really good because it gives you now a guide to know when to stop sanding. So I was at 53 here, so I'm now gonna go to 51, which is just 1/64 on top of my starting bit of 25. But there we have it. So this is our tapering process. So again, the steps for doing the tapering, go back to your middle, start with the biggest, and step down until you get to your starting bit. And that's it. Now, we have to bring our machine back to 0, cut the slug, and then we're good to go. All right, so now that this is done, I'm just gonna hit the top here a little bit with a bevel knife. Okay. And in essence, we don't want to mess up too much the inside of the hole since we did everything machined to perfection, even checking with our caliper, it was great. So now all we want to do is we want to knock off these taper lines with our high-speed sander. And again, just touching the top of the hole. So this is 100 grit is what I like using. So basically you sand until those notches come off. Do the outside a bit. And there you have it. Okay. Lastly, I like finishing with some 400 grit paper, just to make it nice and smooth. These sanding discs are actually homemade. We should sell them on the website, but let us know in the comments. All right, so now Jacob, imagine you have finger holes here. Pop your thumb in it, and let's see how that goes. Okay, there you go. Okay, fits like a glove. Okay, he's not used to using his thumb too much, and I could still bevel it just a little tad because I still see a couple of lines there, so we can go back at it. And also, in this case, if he finds it a little bit too tight, now this becomes an easy adjustment where you just spend a couple seconds in here just to give him a little bit more space. We'll sand this up, make it nice and smooth. Again, this is 400 paper. This really doesn't do much, it just makes it nice and smooth. All right, give that a shot.
Oh,
okay,
that's
a lot
nice.
better. All right,
that's nice.
So there we go. All right, and there you have it. That's how to cut an oval with a taper using the settings that we had discussed during the video using Spectre Pro Shop software. It takes the guesswork out of it. You don't have to use any more charts, no more mental math. Everything's just there in the Oval Calculator. And out of all the features in Spectre, I will say that the Oval Calculator is my favorite feature. It's such a time saver, makes it easy. A guy like Jacob who never drills thumb holes for anybody, not even himself, is now easy 1, 2, 3 step process and you're good to go.
I got it.
All right, so maybe we can convert them. Let us know down in the comments if you think Jacob should convert to a one-hander. Thanks for supporting us. Again, check out JR Pro Shop vids on YouTube, and also make sure to use the code JungoBarks for 10% off your order, and the order ships from Buffa Distribution, so shop.buffabowling.com. Use the coupon code there and we'll ship you your products right to you. So again, thank you. This is Mark Buffa with Jacob signing off, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
See you guys.